Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're talking about a sad day here, um, here for Yu-Gi-Oh. It's been at least for me about 4 years since I saw a breakdown quite like this. By the way, this is a tweet from Sebto360. Uploads Yu-Gi-Oh content on YouTube and streams on Twitch. So go ahead and check him out. Or them out, because they are the ones who posted these pie charts, and actually had like the names of all the people as well. We're not gonna go that deep into it. I do know Jesse Cotton got another second place. He's got like 3 second places this year. So there's that. But this is the top 32. Oh, I see his Pasadena breakdown. Now, I've played Yu-Gi-Oh on and off for the last 7 years, so there might be a situation or a time where there was a pie chart like this, and I don't remember it, but the last time I remember seeing a pie chart like this was full power in the TCG spirals. It wasn't really quite this bad. Before that, Zodiac was a little bit worse, but Zodiac, I mean, I guess Tier Elements is kind of like this too. It was really like True Draco, Zodiac, Pure Zodiac, or True Draco. Like, those are the 3 decks you could play. Since that era, I haven't really seen anything like this. You guys can let me know in the comments down below if there's been another format that's like this. I know that, like I said, on and off over the last 7 years, I have been more on than off for about the last 2 years. In fact, usually the way you can tell if I'm on or off is this channel, because there will be times, and that's why this channel is still growing a little bit, is because there will be times where I post like once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week or every day, and then there'd be times where I don't post for like 4 or 5 months, right? That's the off time period, right? So maybe if you go back and see, well, he didn't post from this time to this time, and during that era there was a chart like this, right? Because I think context is very important when you're talking about something like this, right? Like, if this is what YCSs always look like, that would be one thing, but it's not, as far as I'm concerned. And for like the last 2 years, yeah, there's been annoying decks. Yeah, Sword Soul was annoying to deal with. Yeah, Runic Sky Striker's been annoying to deal with. Yeah, going back to about a year and a half ago, Tri Brigade Zodiac with Dryden was annoying. Dragon Link has been annoying. Going back real far, Virtual World with VFD was annoying. But I don't ever remember being like this. Now, I will give credit where credit's due. This 81% tier element isn't just all one deck. And that's why I said it's kind of like the Zodiac format. I know Sprite tier element is one version. Pure tier element is another version. Branded tier element's another version. Obviously, Ishizu tier element's another version. Obviously, and we're not gonna have any deck lists posted. I think that with this being the first weekend that Ishizu was legal, I think maybe now we're like, oh, what does the deck list look like? What is it? I think we're gonna get a little tired of seeing a Shizu tier element wandering around. And this is really less about what decks are doing really well, because I usually, when I cover YCSs, like to talk about, oh, this was this cool Ignister deck that got top 32, or this is the cool Runic deck that got, or not Runic, Mathmech deck that got top 32. That didn't even happen. Like Sprite, Floanderies is the best D-Shifter deck, right? I mean, Exosister, Crystal Beast, Runic to an extent, but not really. Those decks can do some things, but Floanderies, because of its engine, and because it has so many floodgates that it has access to, and can play during both turns, it actually is a really high quality deck, Floanderies. It's without a doubt the best price to quality of deck ratio out there, especially with the recent D-Shifter reprints. And Ryza reprints. This is definitely the best off-meta deck in the room. And Sprite is still Sprite. We knew Sprite was still gonna be pretty solid. These are like pure Sprites, Sprite Evil Twin. I know that there was there's actually one of these. If we actually go the next page, it actually gets worse. But this right here, this went out this round, right? So the Flow Under Reach player that made it to top 32, of the three of them, one of them made it to the top 16. This person got eliminated this round. The top 8 was 7 tier element variants and 1 sprite deck. That sprite deck made it all the way to top 4. But then tier element faced itself in the final. And the thing is too, at least this was the number on Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournamentdecks.com. I think that's what that website's called. 1,805 people participated at YCS Pasadena. And that could be another reason too why we see tier elements dominate the way that it did. Like why there was a regional at Arkansas over the weekend. It was like 86 people participated in it, and it was a lot more diverse, and that's what will happen. That's why when we say things like, "Oh, you're as good. This deck would be good at locals. This deck would be good at regional." That's what we're talking about, because usually YCSs have like 1,800, not 1,800, but around 1,000 people, right? And it's just you're gonna have more matches when you have that many people, and you're more likely to brick the more matches you have if you're not playing that good of a deck, right? It's very easy, for you to go on Dueling Book, playing your Crystal Beast deck, bump into tier elements, you open D-Shifter both turns, you open all the cards that counter them, and they brick and don't know how to pilot the deck because they're not very good, and you beat them, and then you might think, oh, Crystal Beast is better than tier elements. No, not at all. But that could happen at a local level, right? You could have 3 or 4 rounds in a row where you just open disgusting. But at a YCS, especially with that many people, that many rounds of Swiss, it's not going to end up happening. The main thing I wanted to focus on in this video, as we're already 5 minutes into the video, 7 minutes, jeez, is do we need to have an emergency ban list, right? It was a little strange because tier elements didn't really get hit. Fairy Tale Snow got hit, but Fairy Tale Snow 1 should never have been printed, 2 shouldn't even have came off the ban list. So it really wasn't a hit, more of a correction to the game in general. There's a lot of different cards that you can hit in tier elements. So I don't know why, and I don't think we are going to get an emergency ban list, but I do think that there needs to be a conversation had amongst the community about an emergency ban list, because the last time I really saw a YCS like this actually was all the way back in, I think that was 2016, 2017, whatever year Tier 0 Pepe came out, with Ptolemaeus, 3 Elder Entity Norden, 3 Performance Plush Fire, 3 Monkey Board. It's insane, because you watch Lithium 2300. I don't know if you guys subscribe to him. I mentioned him before on this channel. If you watch his Cross Banlist Cup videos, he showcases a deck like that. If you propped that deck with the cards that it had at the time and you put it in this YCS, I don't really know if it would have done that well, to be real, because that's just how much power creep has come on. But I'm not really here to talk about power creep or the state of the game, which is a mess right now. I feel like it's been bad format after bad format all 2022. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but I feel like the release of the adventure package at the start of this year meant every deck was either D-Shifter or DPE Turbo. Every deck was DPE Turbo until Predator Plant Verite Anaconda got hit. There was a minor time period there where it was cool, but then Sprite and Tier Element came out, and the only decks that could really counter that was Mystic Mine. Then there was just Mystic Mine running around everywhere, and I'm really still not a fan of Mystic Mine. I don't think it can get banned, because I think that if you're gonna run, and there were some Tier Element decks running Mystic Mine, right? But it also is the best counter for these super powerful meta decks. So we have to have Mystic Mine in the format at this point, unfortunately. I don't know what an emergency ban list would look like either. There's a lot of different cards you'd have to hit. But this shouldn't be okay, right? There should be something that needs to be done about this. And the idea here is to the reason why the TCG is not like the OCG in the sense that the OCG has a ban list once every 4 months, once every 3 or 4 months, and it's on a set date, and people know when it's going to be. The reason why the TCG doesn't do that is because they don't want to be boxed in. If they need to drop a ban list super quick, they can do it. If they want to wait a little bit longer, they can do it, right? And it seems like as time has gone on, they've done more of the latter instead of the former. When the last ban list came out, which was a month ago, by the way, when the last ban list came out, I was like, we're probably not gonna get another ban list until like February or March, because that's usually when they drop a ban list. It's like February or March, sometime in spring, like April or May, right before the big tournament season of the summer, and then sometime after the Worlds. And then that's it. That's usually the only times we get ban lists in the TCG. And that last ban list was basically the after Worlds ban list. So it might just be a situation where from November to December, we're dealing with this. Now, I think Dark World's coming out next month. It does actually look like a really strong strategy. Will it be able to compete with Tier Element Ishizu? I don't think so, but maybe. I hope so, right? And eventually power creep, the way this game works, Tier Element will disappear. But what's the vibe? What's the plan? I remember I ran into somebody who goes to my locals, and I told them this was like a couple of weeks before the ban list came out. I was like, yeah, sorry I haven't been there in a while. It's just so hard to play right now because all you have is Mystic Mine and Sprite, which feels super unfair, and Tier Elements, which is potentially super unfair. This was, like I said, a month and a half ago. But after the ban list, I'll probably come back. The ban list didn't really hurt Tier Element at all. It didn't ban Mystic Mine. And then I found out like a week and a half ago YCS Pasadena had been sold out. And I was so confused about it because I was like, this is the format you're going to be playing in. You're either going to stumble upon some weird variant of Tier Element, you're going to play a meta variant of Tier Element, you're going to play a non-variant of Tier Element, just pure Tier Element, or you're going to play some weird Mystic Mind deck. Why does that sound fun? Why does that sound like a good time? So, I don't know. You guys can let me know if you went to YCS Pasadena. You probably had a good time. But you guys can let me know, is the format fine the way that it is? Because I don't think so. I don't think that 80% of top 32 should be one deck. I certainly don't think 87% of a top 16 should be one deck. I certainly don't think a deck should face itself at a YCS. Right? Like, we saw Ultrageist recently, or Marinette recently. Like, it's so funny in hindsight. Like, I know I was just complaining. Like, 2022 has kind of been toxic all year long because of Mystic Mind decks and Sprite and Tier Element. It was better, though, up until now. That's what's crazy. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think we need an emergency ban list? What corrections would you make to Tier Elements? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys click that like button, show your support for the channel, subscribe for more content. But most importantly of all, have a good day.